So I've been on Zwift for a long time now, years in fact, and I only just discovered something about route badges that genuinely surprised me, because Zwift has changed significantly over the years, and I actually thought this just might be a me problem. So I did what I call a bit of bro science. I ran a completely unscientific poll in 2 Zwift-based Discords, mostly experienced Zwifters. You know who you are if you're watching this video.
Even this guy.
And the result was basically a 50-50 split. Yes, the sample size was statistically insignificant.
You serious?
I know you're thinking that Dr. Nick Bramble. Half of the experienced Zwifters understood how route badges actually work with pace partners, and the other half didn't. So naturally, people assume, great, I'll just ride with a pace partner and get the badge. That's what I thought. And that assumption is completely reasonable. And honestly, my own thinking here is outdated too. When pace partners were first introduced, they didn't really exist the way they do now. They originally stuck to the same routes over and over again, which I loved. And back then, most experienced riders already had those badges. So the question is, can you earn route badges with pace partners? Almost never came up. Side note, quick call out to my man Bowie Brevitt, one of the original pace partners. He's probably on a beach somewhere sucking on a pretend pina colada. Back then, pace partners were more about steady group riding than route progression. It was a way to build up easy kilometres and have someone to talk to. Recently, I was riding with a pace partner and someone asked a really good question in the public chat. If I join a pace partner on a route that I don't have the badge for yet, do I just need to fill the map green? Now, for those who don't understand what I'm talking about in regards to fill green, so on the map, when you start a route, it will show you your progress as you go through the route, it'll fill up. So when you join a pace partner, at any point in the ride, it will show where you started, and then if you go through the start banner and come back around, it'll start filling up again. So that's what I'm talking about for clarification. Now, in regards to that question, no one really answered. One person said that they thought you only need to fill the map with green, and then after a while I jumped in and said I thought that you probably need to go through the start and finish banner rather than filling it green. That's my understanding of how you need to get a route badge. You need to start from before the start and then go through the green, which I thought you'd be able to do with a pace partner. So I did suggest to them that just let us know if you do fill green, do you get the badge? And then, yeah, later on they confirmed, yeah, they didn't get the badge doing all the green, and they didn't want to do the rest of the map because it was like another 15 or 20 minutes. But that's when I really started digging.
Hey, what happened?
So as the current version of Zwift, which is 1.106.0, you can't earn a route badge if you start the ride as a pace partner ride. And this is the key point. When you ride with a pace partner, you're not selecting the route. So even if you ride the full distance, go through the start and finish banner, or even do multiple laps, the route badge does not unlock. And Zwift doesn't explain this clearly. This isn't just speculation. One of the riders in those Discords actually contacted the official Zwift support. They were riding with a pace partner in France. They went through the start and finish banner twice. I've got my microphone in the way, twice. And they still didn't get the badge. So they opened up a support ticket, and the official reply from Zwift support was this: to unlock route badges, don't start the ride as a pace partner ride. Join a free ride or an event on that route instead. And that pretty much confirms it. This isn't a bug. This is how it's currently designed. This is why so many people get caught out. Pace partner rides look exactly like the route rides or the group rides or events. They follow the route, they're named after the route, and now they include brand new routes people don't have badges for yet. Zwift gives you every reason to assume that this should work. And remember, this misunderstanding split experienced Zwifters who don't understand this as well. Okay, so how do you actually do it? Does this mean that pace partner rides are useless for route badges? Well, no. You just can't do it the way Zwift expects you to and sets it up for. As I showed earlier in this video, you can see the pace partner's live position on the course. And that right there is the key. If you want the route badge and the benefits of a pace partner ride, this is what you do. You select the route yourself in free ride. That tells Zwift this is your active route. And then ride normally and wait for the pace partner, because you know, using that method that I showed you, that you can see that they're going to be nearby. And when they arrive, you ride with them like normal. And then you get the draft, the extra speed, and the drops bonus. Plus also, if, unlike me, not on level 100, when you increase your level, you'll get also more drops bonuses, which a lot of people need. And because you selected the route badge unlocks when you finish it. And honestly, for newer Zwifters, this is a really good way to ride. And a disclaimer, as a Zwift version, what version is it again? Can I make sure? 1.106.0. This is the only reliable way to combine pace partners and route badges. Zwift could change this in the future, but right now this is how it works. And if it does change, let me know in the comments below, type away, and so that I can update it. And if this saves you one race to ride, it's worth knowing. So hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. And before I go, here's just a few things I wish was changed, because what's a titanium bin video without me complaining? So pace partners used to always ride at the same power over the whole route, regardless of ups and downs. But then Zwift experimented with increased power up climbs and decreased powers on descents. This was to try and replicate the group rides. However, I never liked the change. The reason why I like the pace partner ride is that you always ride at the same power output. You don't have to worry about thinking, okay, we're coming to a hill, I'm going to increase my speed now. You could just rack up the kilometers whilst watching something else on another screen, Netflix, YouTube, the second best YouTube channel on Zwift, or even for those who do the insane hours on the bike. I don't know how you guys do it, but for you guys, you could just work. I remember when I was doing a lot of hours when I was working from home, I actually did a lot of bookkeeping whilst doing some cocoa rides. But the issue now at the moment is that on the flats, you get a nice draft. But then when the road goes up, your output has to increase. This wasn't an issue before with Coco when she was doing Fogo flats. But when I rode with Coco up Jarvis recently, the output was so much higher than I was expecting. It was actually pretty hard. I wasn't going to get dropped, but it was way higher power than I wanted to do for the ride. The rest of the ride was the power I wanted, but it's just so much harder up the hill. That's my first complaint. My second complaint is that you cannot stack route badges in a ride. This is probably the part of the reason why you can't get a route badge with a pace partner. Might have the same issue, but for the longest time, Zwifters have been wanting the ability to ride multiple route badges on the same ride. It's really annoying having to leave a ride to then choose another route badge when you can pretty much ride around to the seaside sprint and then you could do a different route. But I won't dwell on this as it's a well-discussed issue. I just wanted to bring it up again just in case someone from Zwift is watching. Please, Zwift. Speaking of which, if you enjoyed that video, hit that like and subscribe. I know I mentioned it before, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.